everyone, Tom here, BRR here with yet another episode, an important episode, reconciliation episode, I suppose, which we'll get to in a second. Follow the show at BattlerapreSume, get in touch with me, battlerapresume@gmail.com if you want to come on the show, you want to do some sort of countdown or top 10 or focus on some sort of, battle talent, happily do that. Patreon as well is there if you want to help support the show. We've got loads of stuff on there at the moment, such as, Masterminds coming up and various BattlerapreSume episodes. Leave us a review on iTunes as well. But happy to say, short-term enemy, long-term friend, Bison Briggs. Briggsy, how's it going, man?
Yeah, it's good, man. Finally, Mum have made it.
It's been a long time coming, and we'll get to our briefing, whatever that was. But we got a lot of stuff to get through. Even before L's, let's take it really early. When did you first remember rapping, writing, performing, that sort of stuff?
Oh, I've been doing that. Jesus Christ. So around 2004, maybe. No, probably earlier than that. Probably around. Yeah, no, around 2004, I probably started taking it serious. I went into my first music studio in 2004.
Right.
So that's when I started really taking rapping side of stuff serious.
Were you always Briggsy?
Yeah. To be fair, I didn't even think of a rap name. Basically, everyone's always called me Briggsy because of my surname. And just started freestyling and people just said Briggsy, so it stuck with me. I find it weird if I'd call myself a rap name. Like, imagine me being called, I don't know, fucking Lyrical Switchblade or something like that.
Well, you have Bison Briggs now.
Yeah, Bison's always been a little side nickname anyway. I just thought I'd brand it all together now. Because I've got big shoulders and no neck.
Right. Why did you become Bison Briggs out of interest?
You know what it was? It was funny. So Bison's always been a mad little side nickname people have had anyway. But we was playing. I was on we had a show in Mosh Team, and we used to take the Xbox with us wherever we went. And we was playing one of the old. Remember the old WWE games?
Oh yeah.
So we was playing that, and the name selector for the commentator didn't have Lewis, so we was like, fuck it, let's just pick something. So I'll pick Bison, and as I was coming out to the ring, it was like, Bison Briggs enters the ring, and I was like, I like the sound of that. And then it just, fuck it just kind of stuck from there.
So, going back then, 2004, this sort of era, is this before Mosh Team? Do you know Raptor and Shotty at this time, or?
No, so 2004, I knew Shotty first before Raptor.
Yeah.
I probably got to know Shotty around 2006, maybe.
Right.
I knew who he was beforehand just because he had quite a big fan base in Manchester.
Yeah, of course.
And then we just bumped into each other at a show, and then it was cool since then, pretty much. But I knew a lot of people that he knew anyway, so we was kind of in the same circles.
How big was Shotty early on? Because you get the sense, like with the Disciple Battle, he had such a following at his tryout.
Oh yeah, he had a really good following in Manchester. Like Shotty was the only guy that everybody knew, but no one knew what he looked like or who he was. It was weird because he didn't use the internet. Like Shotty's first appearance on the internet was me making him a MySpace page. Like this is years ago, and I was like, "You've got to have some sort of online presence." And I remember he was like one of the first people that I seen to hit 1 million plays on MySpace. So people were obviously looking for this guy and just didn't know who he was or what he was doing. But yeah, everyone he was one of them people. Everyone had the songs on the phone. Like back when you had like a Nokia 3210, you could have 2 songs on it. Like one of them would have been Shotty in Manchester, Shotty and Shifter.
Yeah. You said you set up his MySpace page, so that sort of managerial aspect, was that something you were always into from early, or?
Yeah, pretty much. I've always been into business, to be honest. I was always setting up little mad side things, like I was selling fucking cans of Coke and shit in high school, doing all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always been quite switched on with sort of just like branding and internet sort of based stuff. So when MySpace and all that, I was fully into all that sort of shit. But yeah, it was just that I kind of played with the internet, and Shotty was more about just smashing music, really.
Were you aware of battling, early on? Like, how did you find out about that?
Oh, yeah, you know what? I got into battling. Sounds so shit now. But I remember coming across Gin on 106 and Park.
Right.
This is like back in the day, so you couldn't even watch the videos because YouTube wasn't a thing then. But they had like on LimeWire, I think it was LimeWire or BearShare, one of them old sort of websites.
Oh, yeah.
You could download the audio feeds. So I had like Gin versus Pound Sterling and Gin versus just Paperboy, I think. And I just fell in love with Gin. So I started doing a bit of research, came across Jump Off and it's the old Smack DVDs. So I was like heavily in from pretty much Smack DVD got me fully into battle rap. That's how I found out about Gin and stuff. So I've been following it from early, to be honest, but I never didn't even know it was in the UK till about 2007, maybe 8, probably later than that.
And were you following Don't Flop from early, or?
I followed the WRCs when they started coming about because I was watching Scribble Jam and stuff, and then the WRC started popping up when YouTube was like brand new. So got into it then, and then I just didn't. To be honest, I didn't really care for it. It was just like something to watch. I was more into writing and being a rapper. And then I went to one random Don't Flop event once, and remember that kid from Skins? What's he called? Jack O'Connell, the actor.
Oh yeah.
So he was in attendance, and this is like when Skins was at its peak, sort of thing.
Yeah, I heard that he used to go to events. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone was in Manchester like, oh, Jack O'Connell's at this rap battle thing.
Yeah,
so I thought,
crazy.
go on, I'll pop down and have a look. And it was, who was it now? It was the event just before I battled. I can't remember who was on the card. You know, it was like one of the very first Chronicle events.
Yeah.
But I'd seen like the odd O'Shea. I've seen an O'Shea battle in a car park. I don't know who it was against. So I'd seen the odd bits leaking on YouTube, but I didn't know what Don't Flop was. I didn't have any idea when I turned up to the event. Well, yeah, it just kind of grabbed me and pulled me in, didn't it?
Crazy, these early era. Like I always say, one of the things is, you know, it's early Don't Flop if it doesn't have the DF on the thumbnail between the two people battling. And yours versus L's has the banner at the bottom. This came about because Raptor cancelled.
Yeah, so mate, I had no interest because, like I say, when I first got into Don't Flop, I was doing all right with music. Like I started building my own little fan base, was doing shows everywhere. I was just a solo artist, but I was just literally getting everywhere. And I went to this event to support Raptor, and Raptor didn't show up. Obviously, unbeknownst to us, he'd been arrested on the Friday.
Right.
So obviously, Ellsworth, I didn't know who Els was. I didn't have any idea about it. So left. To be fair, this was the first Don't Flop event I went to when Raptor was meant to battle Els. That was the one I went to. So I was only going to support Raptor really. And yeah, he went to prison and walked out. Came on, just jumped on Facebook, and there was loads of like videos of Els like talking shit about Raptor. But I was in the same sort of crew as Raptor before Mosh Team. So I just ended up going back to Shotty's apartment, getting drunk, and Shotty was like, "You should battle," and I was like, "Nah, fuck that. It's not for me." That, and then I got more and more drunk and somehow agreed to it, and I was battling Els the next day.
So like bad, I used to box to trust I'ma fight you. Els is pussy made, the type of guy to stick his dick between his legs and go, look lads, a vagina. You see, Els is a minor to me, so it's kinda hard for him losing, but I must thank her. I always wanted to meet the evil pig from Duke Nukem. Yo. And it's only Els I'm battling, so I ain't gonna get happy and fake it. In fact, when he spits, I'ma do what Els does on a daily basis. Stare at Facebook and update me status.
It's a great tryout, I have to say, man, going back. I remember I had Pamphlet on the show, and he said the same thing, that you just stepped in and, you know, did your thing. And you really come polished in this. I think this is some of the best I've seen you, actually.
Mate, I went downhill from there.
Like, I love how you just predict everything in the first. You just like, you know, I'm 5'3", I'm fat, white, and ginger. How can you come harder than that? You just sort of disarm him.
Yeah, because I'd watched so much Jump Off and WRCs, I kind of expected. I used the whole. It sounds mad saying it, the old 8 Mile thing, like diffuse what your opponent's going to say about you first. And obviously, I'm not your average sort of looking guy. You know, I am 5'3", small and ginger. Like people are going to use that, and the stuff like the Billie Jean stuff, like which is my missus. It's an unusual name, so I knew at one point a battler was going to say that. To be fair, I only thought I was going to do the Els battle. I wasn't intending to carry on doing it. It was just like, this guy's talking shit about me, mate. Like, just trying to show up in his face. I was up for it, you know. Like I said, I was performing all the time, so my memory was insane at that point. So I just, because I was so new to it as well, I didn't know what to expect. And as soon as you get that first reaction, I think the adrenaline kicked in, and it was like a performance.
Yeah. Again, you sort of, you know, say what he's going to say. Like Chucky got lucky with Paul Scholes. You make a reference which I don't actually remember, but I'm sure at the time you say he looks like the fat guy that shouts Wonga on the TV.
Yeah.
I can sort of imagine what it would be, but yeah, the evil pig from Duke Nukem, and yeah, really good stuff here. Els isn't bad, but just doesn't perform quite as strongly as you, isn't quite as rehearsed, and you just you take the win quite cleanly, I think. And Els has had a few battles on cam by this point as well.
Yeah, I think he battled me just after he battled O'Shea.
Yeah.
If I'm right, so he'd had like 2 or 3 battles. I think the thing with me is because I didn't know what I was getting myself into, so I didn't usually like after that you start going, oh shit, he might take this approach. Like I had no idea, so I think I just wrote the material. It was like, if I'll just say these 3 rounds, whatever happens, happens, sort of thing. I just got lucky, I think. If I'd have probably had someone else, it'd probably murdered me, but
right.
it just kind of turned out decent. It was a good battle. I proper enjoyed that battle.
Yeah, no, it is a seriously good performance, I have to say. And in the judging, Tenshu, Lego, and Decoy all give it to you. You can see Shotty in the background as well, and the judging has been given. I think the Beast Volume 2 is a mixtape that is advertised as well by him earlier on. But it's funny, isn't it? You sort of get involved with Don't Flop just as Don't Flop's starting to get big, right?
Yeah, so when I turned up there, so the venue was the Attic, which is now Zombie Shack.
Right.
So and this was like a big Don't Flop event at the time. I remember Psychosis Holocaust was the cameraman. Like this is early Don't Flop. There was probably 40 people in the building, but that was like I remember them all saying this is a really successful event. So this is like it just started getting where I think and Chronicle and Kruger had sat down and gone, we can do something with this just at this point. Because I remember this being the first event they sold merch at. They had that like Don't Flop T-shirt with the square buildings.
I remember that. Yeah,
I'm sure Rowan's got it on, but that was like the first bit of merch, and you couldn't even buy it. You had to pre-order it online. Right. But yeah, it was good to. Obviously, I've seen it grow to being massive, and then obviously the downfall as well. But it was, you know what? It was a good time. It's kind of. I felt the same at the academy the other day when we did the academy program. I was like, it had that atmosphere of old school Don't Flop. Like everyone was there, just having a party, and that's what Don't Flop. That's probably what got me to fall in love with it, to be honest.
Yeah. Everyone says it was a lot more fun back in the day.
Yeah, and it was all competition. No one had egos because no one was getting a million views. You know what I mean? It was all. I remember back my L's battle. I think it was on 30K or something, and everyone was like. I remember Rowan hitting me up like, yo, we don't, like, it's only top tiers that get 30K views. And I was like,
right.
So gas got to me head a little bit. Thought I was the man.
Well, you battled Disciple next, which I haven't actually seen. How did that go?
Don't watch that one.
No? Why not?
I didn't watch that. To be fair, I did a battle before that, so I did lab battles with Lopesh also.
Yeah.
So I'd done the L's battle, and then me and Shotty had the idea to do lab because there was no real events in Manchester at the time. So it's like, fuck it, we'll give it a crack. I've done music events before, so we thought we'd do it.
And it was sort of like your first sort of Premier Battles attempt, isn't it? Like your first idea at your own league.
Yeah, well, to be honest, mate, the idea for Premier Battles was lab. But when we sat down to execute it, we just knew it wasn't the right time. So we was like, right, let's just do a battle event. We'll try and because we had quite good connections with sponsors and stuff. It was like, let's just see how big we can do it. So we had like Rockstar on board and a couple other people. And then it was meant to originally be me versus Chronicle, and Chronicle backed out. And then it was like, shit, who can we do? And then Low Pesci hit us up, and he was like, I want to come over. The shot, he was like, do you want Low Pesci? And I was like, I'm not going to say no, am I? So yeah, I ended up getting Low Pesci, and I was on my second battle. Probably very well undeserved, but yeah, it was that was a sick event. And then I went into hospital a couple of weeks later. Like I was in for about 2 months, and I came out 2 days before my Disciple battle. So if you ever watch my Disciple battle, is the only battle I can't watch back because you can see how high I am.
Right.
Like I was still taking morphine at the time.
Oh yeah.
I remember going to the event and Balski pulling me outside, like, don't do the battle, just go home, like, you don't look well at all.
Shit.
But, because they'd come off the back of the L's performance and people had, like, there was a point where people had quite high expectations for me. And I was like, if I back out on my second battle now, it's going to kill everything. Probably should have took Balski's advice and gone home. It was a fucking I don't even know what I said. I wrote it in hospital.
Right.
I remember talking about God and Jesus and that in one of my rounds, and I was like, next battle, Jesus Christ.
And what was the genesis then of lab battles? Because like going on the YouTube channel, you have about 15 uploads. It seems like there's maybe like 2 events.
Yeah. So what happened was we did the first event, which was a really successful event. To be honest, the whole event was cursed on, mate. Like we had it all planned, everything was set. So we had Disaster Shotty, Omac Flex, me and Innuendo versus Lopecioso. We had Disaster Awkwards versus Archaic and O'Shea, I think, off the top of my head.
Right.
Soul versus Barren Mind. Fucking hell, I never projected Soul to do that.
Wow.
But yeah, it was a really good event. But we had a different venue. 2 weeks before the event, the venue's ceiling collapsed.
Oh.
So they rang us saying, right, we can't do it in that venue. So we had to downgrade the venue to the venue which is below the attic, so it's even smaller than Zombie Shack. And we'd already sold like 300 tickets at this point, so it was like a 180 capacity venue with 300 people squeezed in. So we did the first event. All the battles went really well. The only thing is, because the crowd was so tight to the pit, we used like big JVC, BBC cameras, because I was in university at the time, so I got them all out. And someone had pushed onto the back of one of the cameras and snapped, the input cord, because it used to record on big thick cards, and it had corrupted the entire camera. And we'd only noticed that when we got home to take the cards out, like there was only one camera's worth of footage. So from there we was like, right, let's just crack on. Did the second event, which was Shotty and O'Shea.
Yep.
That's when I went into hospital. Like that, 2 days after that event, I went in. Shotty was, I think Shotty's one of his albums had just come out, so he was mad busy anyway. And then Ivilla messaged me and was like, "Can I throw a lab battles event?" So I was like, "Yeah, go and do a tryout event sort of thing." And then that just went to shit. Went to shit from there, really. But,
was that No Man's Land?
Yeah, No Man's Land. I think I turned up like halfway through the event to host like 2 battles and had to go again.
Right.
But yeah, it was just. I remember turning up and it was just filmed on like a little handheld JVC camera, and I was like, "Nah, this can't run." But someone hacked the YouTube channel.
Ah.
So that's why it never carried on or anything. We couldn't get access to it again. But kind of glad. It's nice. It's a nice little nugget of history.
Yeah.
That's where it'll stay.
Yeah. I mean, you threw some big battles. Shotty versus O'Shea. Shotty versus Diz.
Yeah, Shotty Diz. Yeah, Shotty's debut.
Crazy. Beat the king on my debut. Like, that's crazy, isn't it? But like, it is true that Shotty's first fucking battle was Disaster. That's crazy.
Well, yeah, the whole event was put on for that battle. Basically, Shotty didn't want to be a battle rapper, but because of the way, especially like the way I used to write, I used to listen to a lot of punchline hip hop, so I knew I'd adapt to battling just because of the way I used to write anyway. And Shotty was like, because obviously if you hear Shotty's music, he's like aggressive tones, like the multi-syllable rhyming and stuff. He would have adapted perfect to it, and Disaster was like the big name at the time. So he was like, Shotty basically said, "I've got the money. I don't want to start from the bottom on Don't Flop. I'm just going to fucking put my own event on." And that's pretty much what happened. And then everything he predicted was going to happen happened.
Yeah.
But he's like that. He's a talented guy. He knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah. His fucking rise has been crazy. And you battled on Lab Battles with Innuendo against Pesci and Osa. Unfortunately, some of this footage is missing a sort of a PSA at the start saying that camera damage, basically this is from fan footage. They weren't going to release it, but you're going to eventually get it out. What do you remember about this battle?
You know what was weird? Because I'd lived with Pesci and Osa for like 3 days before the battle.
Right.
So there's like me, Pesci, Osa, Bender, Patience, and Archaic all in the same house for like 3 days. So I'd got to know them really well.
Yeah.
And but at the same time, I can hear them prepping upstairs, and I'm prepping on the phone with Innuendo from Liverpool. So it was just a weird battle, to be honest. But it was like, I remember Osa said something to me in the second round when he's like, I can't remember what he said, something like pulling the seaweed off me, but the intricacy of the rhyming, I remember stood there thinking, wow, I need to step my shit up if I'm going to compete with this sort of stuff. Because I was still in the mind frame of like, especially writing with Innuendo, I was just coming with jokes. And I wish, if going back at that, I know I could have done it well better, but at the time, because I was still new, I don't think neither side took it as serious as it should have been. But it was a good battle. Everyone said it was a really fun battle on the day because it was both. Obviously, you got innuendo anyway. You know what you're going to get with him, and that was much better performance than my fucking Disciple one. So it was a good battle. It was really it was good. It was my first taste of seeing people who I considered top tier at the time, like Lopez especially.
Yeah.
Just being stood in front of it made me realise exactly what you've got to sort of do with your game to go further and be better.
Yeah, it's an underviewed battle, definitely. It's got like 6K, and it's kind of shot from over the crowd, so it is the fan footage, but still you can hear what's going on, and it's cool to see you and Innuendo teamed up as well, and there's quite a lot of people there for the event, which is pretty impressive. Next battle, briefly, I want to touch on you versus Yunnan, where, what are your memories of this North-East-South event?
You know what, I was looking forward to this, because I had a bit... Me and Yunnan had a bit of shit. It's not probably unusual to hear with Yunnan having shit with someone. But I remember at the time we did lab battles. A lot of fans started doing the whole kind of what they do now with like Premier Battles and Charts Out. There was like you can only support one or the other, which wasn't the case. You know what I mean? So there was like a lot of people were saying, "Oh, if you're gonna go to lab battles, you can't come with Don't Flop." And Yunnan was like at the forefront of that at the time.
Right.
So he was like online saying, "Oh, fuck BRIGGZY, fuck Shotty and all this, Don't Flop all day and all that." And not knowing at the same time, I'm on the phone to just like talking business with him, normal, like we're cool. So it was kind of it felt like my first grudge match, even though it was my third match, so it was mad. But the way Yunnan wanted to do it threw me off because it was like 290 seconds, and then the third round was like 5 minutes or something.
Right.
So I remember writing my third round. Fully prepped that, and then my other 2 rounds I just kind of used what I didn't use for my third round, so it was like really weak 2 rounds. But that was a good battle, that, to be honest. The event was sick. The event was really good. It was like first taste of competition because everyone was in North shirts and South shirts, and had the old Don't Flop fields. The only thing I thought was weird is because I was lab battles, I got introduced as lab battles, and the crowd didn't really fuck with me. And I noticed because obviously I'd come from the L's battle where everyone was going mad.
Oh yeah.
And then I'd gone into this and everyone was like, fuck that. Because I remember this, even after the event, people were still writing on Facebook and like fuck lab battles and that. And it was like, so it was a good battle though. I watched that a few times. Yunnan was sick. I think he was on a 5-win streak at that point as well.
Yeah, Yunnan was sick. That was a sick event altogether. Mickey versus Jefferson Price, Definition versus Pamphlet, just loads of these sort of golden era matchups. Joker Star versus Disciple, and just a good era. Like, were you aware that it was picking up steam in this era? The views were getting more people at events, etc.
Yeah, definitely. Because even though I did the Disciple event was only like 5 months after the Battle of the Hells, and that was at, I think that was at Soundbase in Manchester, which isn't there anymore. But it was like probably triple the attendance of Hells Battle. And that was like in a space of 5 months, so I knew it was getting bigger anyway. People started tagging me on stuff after they seen the L's battles. And because of the views I got on the L's battles and the Disciple one, it was like, I kind of knew where it was going. That's why I probably carried on doing it. And then when I got to North versus South, like, it was in Nottingham, and the venue was packed. And I can't remember who filmed. I think it might have been Bagnall, I'm not too sure who filmed that event. I think it might have been Bagnall, because Kruger was stood next to Rowan behind me, I think. But yeah, I think that's when everyone noticed, because obviously people had T-shirts for Don't Flop merch and stuff on, and people knew of, like, I remember that's the first event I turned up to, like, battle rap event, where people were like, "Oh, can I get a selfie with you?" I had an experience like music, but not battle rap, so it was weird. Yeah. But it was, yeah, man. I think that was the point when I started thinking, yeah, I want to carry on with this sort of thing.
Definitely.
Just bad. I was like 1 win and 2 losses at that point, though. Yeah. Giving me second loss.
Like with most people on the show, when we do it, the first year or two is the busiest. So 2011, I haven't seen you versus Hazard, which is in November 2011. How was this battle? Was this at Jam?
Yeah, Brixton Jam was a birthday, this.
Yeah.
I think it was the 4th or the 3rd birthday.
I think it's the 3rd, it's the 3rd.
Yeah, it was just before the birthdays became a major event, really. Because he was doing blood in the water at the same time, so that was like where all the big money was going to. Hazard was a good battle. It was my first battle in London. London crowd took to me more than they took to Hazard. Hazard had a few good things. But I felt quite comfortable in that battle. Like I think I cleaned up pretty easy in that one. I think he had a bad choke as well in his second, if I remember right. But that gave me a taste of victory again. I knew I enjoyed winning more than I did losing anyway after that battle. But yeah, it was good. It was good to experience because obviously I battled Manchester and then I'd done Nottingham and London back to back. So I tried to stay out as Manchester as much as possible, where a lot of people were staying in their own cities. So it was good to experience different crowds.
And what was the methodology like, the rehearsing, the writing at this point? Were you doing it more regularly? Were you doing more practice at that, or?
Yeah, kind of. I put out like an album EP sort of thing just before it. So I was like the EP I put out at the time, the BBC were pushing quite heavily, so I was doing loads of gigs. So I remember with that battle, it was quite weird. Like I was comfortable with the material I had. I knew I wasn't going to stumble or choke. But I still wasn't fully convinced, especially after the way. If you would have asked me to spit my L's bars, I could have spat them all day. Like I knew them off the bat. Hazard was a weird one. To be honest, I didn't know if I was going to win or not going down there. But second I said my first line, and I was just comfortable. You know what I mean? The London crowd reacted, and they just went from there. But yeah, that was I think I just kind of scraped bars together at that point. The lab battle thing had died as well at that point. So I think fans started giving me a chance again.
Well, that was one of the early, I don't want to call it breakaways, but that was one of the early other than Don't Flop leagues, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was like, especially at the level it was at, because like I say, we came off the bat with Shotty Disaster, Immaculate, Lopeshi, also, Awkward. Like these were all top tier names at the time. And fans were genuinely like, shit, these can't compete with Don't Flop, because Don't Flop were doing views, but they were doing like 20k was a really good battle view, and they were still selling out venues like the Zombie Shack. So we weren't, for the first event, we weren't far off. I reckon if we would have carried on, if the first footage would have come out how we planned it, we would have carried on doing 2 or 3 events. God knows where we would have ended up. It was just a shame it ended how it did, but yeah, I think fans had forgot about it by that point, because I took about 3 months out, I think, 4 months out, so fans had forgot. Lab battles had died. I just had to put on a good performance after the Union loss, so yeah, I was happy.
He'd walk over, hood up like he always has. Hey, my name's Jed or Solo, whichever you think works. I'm a battle rapper. Aye. Log online, you can see me merch, but when you log on, make sure you comment, subscribe, thumbs up, add to Twitter, Facebook, and you might just actually have a chance of being my bird. And if you're thinking of working at Leeds versus Manny Crowd, I suggest you shut the fuck up and stop. Stand that haggis ass there for 90 seconds just to run up the clock. Because it's true, they say Leeds and Manny peeps ain't too friendly, but when it finally comes to the drop, whether you're a Manca, Scouse or a Cockney or from Yorkshire, the English love nothing more than fucking up the stops.
You know, you take part in one of the biggest Don't Flop events ever. This is in early 2012, To The Test 10, against Seoul. Recently covered this with Sean in our little recap of the event. And it's undeniable, BRIGGZY, that you beat Seoul.
Yeah, of course I did, 4-1.
But you genuinely did. Like, watching this with a critical eye and making these notes, it's like, you can't deny it. Not in a bitter way, but like, you just sort of starred in him, I think. And he wasn't as developed really back then. You
know what it was, yeah? Like with Soul, especially, like I've always been a massive fan of Soul. Like even when we did lab battles, me and Shotty were going through people who wanted on. Soul was like very underappreciated at Don't Flop at that time. Not a lot of people understood him, because they loved O'Shea and Calcium Kid and all them sort of guys, and people like Soul and that were just considered geeks, if you know what I mean. And no one really cared that sort of battle.
Yeah.
But I'd always appreciated the way he wrote, so he was like, right, whatever we do, we need to get a part of it. So when hit me up and he was like, do you want to battle Soul? I was like, fuck, I'm going to get murdered if I don't come correct with this. I think he just battled 24/7, if I remember right.
Yes, yeah.
I remember being in the car, I drove up with one of my boys and I was sat in the car and I was like, fuck, I'm going to get killed there if I don't get these 3 rounds out. And it's like, even if I get these 3 rounds out, I might still die, like really horribly die here. So, but I remember watching Soul's battles because I watched everything Soul did pretty much, and I remember thinking, if you're going to battle someone like that, I need to outperform him with humour rather than because I'm never going to outright Soul. I'm not that talented like Soul is. So I was like, what I need to do is get the crowd on my side straight away, so whatever he says, they kind of go. yeah, it doesn't really matter. Like, we're enjoying it because it was the first. I think it was that the first 14 plus event.
Something like that. Yeah, the crowd are quite young.
Yeah, so I remember dumbing down a lot of my material. Like, I remember writing punchlines and thinking, no one will get that unless you're like a battle rapper. So I had some shit bars. I had some really shit. I remember saying, what's that bar? Like, you greasy no Malia or something. I remember writing that thinking, I can't say that. And I was like, fuck it, I'm saying it. Kids have laughed at that. And they did. They did. I think that was the most tactical I've ever been in a battle anyway. But yeah,
I mean, it was a step up, I bet, as a battler. Just how many people were there and how excited people seemed to be. It seemed to be a step up from last year.
Oh, mate, it's the first event I've been to where literally when we turned, I remember that there was snow like 3 or 4 inches deep. I mean, 3 or 4 feet deep. Like, it was a really bad snow weather. I remember turning up and there was people queuing down the road and around the corner in the snow. And we was like, wow, this is going to be a serious event, this. When you walked in the place, it was like Dolph Flop had just realised their identity and who he was. And Leeds is always like, I don't think I've been to a bad event in Leeds. They always turn up, but it was that. I think there's only been 2 events since that have outdone that event in terms of crowd for me. I'm sure we'll get onto them anyway.
Yeah, and,
it was to the test 10.
Yeah, it seemed brilliant, and I like the fact that they had the young crowd there as well, who were a bit more enthusiastic. And yeah, Soul has some great stuff, but he has like a Robot Wars scheme that's a little bit irrelevant. And I think you do some funny stuff. The idea of like Mickey and introducing him to a bird in the club, and him having 90 seconds, and English love nothing more than fucking up the Scots, and you come sort of watered down, as you say, but it ignites. I like it, and you beat Soul on this stage.
Yeah, that's my claim to fame. That sack any other battle as a beat Soul. I don't think he lost. I don't think he lost today for about. I think
for a while.
I remember saying to someone, that when I beat Soul, I don't think he lost for about 4 or 5 years, maybe. I think he's. So I must have pissed him off.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Don't want the rematch.
And what were your aspirations as a battler at this point? Were you hoping to go? I know the chain wasn't just been established, I guess, at that event. Yeah,
mate, I've got a bones pick with Rowan, one of them. So I remember Rowan came out and he was like, "If whoever hits a 5 battle win streak gets a shot at the title." So I was like, right, I'm getting a 5. And I got a 5-win fucking... I won 5 battles in a row and then he gave me eek. So I got robbed. I should have been a title shot. Got absolutely annihilated, but I'm owed a title shot somewhere.
Where was the eek battle?
Blam, Manchester.
Blam, was it? Was that a night and day?
No, that was... where was that now? It was in Fallowfield way. So it was like Ram... Was it Ram and Shackle? Is that a venue?
Okay, I'm not quite sure where exactly it is, but yeah, it looks somewhere a bit different. Doesn't look like night and day, definitely.
Yeah, it's where I shot Battle Disciple.
How was that battle?
That was a weird one. You know what it was with that one? I didn't want to do it at all. He was like the golden boy at the time. He'd just come into Dolph Flop and people were like really behind him. I just remember that being a weird battle. Ron was like, you need to take this. I think, was that my first battle after Soul?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so I did that. I remember Rowan saying something like, if you after the beat Soul, like, we're going to get you a really good opponent. And at the time, that was considered a really good opponent. Right. But yeah, that was a weird. I remember I'd lost. If you watch the battle, I lost my voice. So my voice, I sound like DMX when I was spitting.
Right.
Because I'd gone on a fucking night out about 2 days before. I had no voice. But yeah, I remember Rowan telling the crowd to be quiet because he won't be able to hear me without my voice. But that was just a weird. I personally think I won that battle, but he won, which I don't know how, but it is what it is. I remember actually, with that battle, I remember Pedro coming outside and he was like, "I judged that battle and gave it you," and he told me they didn't need me to judge it.
Wow.
So Illuminati, mate, Illuminati.
Crazy. Battle rap politics, man.
Yeah,
always getting involved. Who were Mosh team at this point? Was it a big force or?
Yeah, it was doing all right. So it was me, Shotty, Illiton, and DJ Edge at the time.
Was Yunnan involved or?
Yeah, kind of. So because we were doing the battling, there was only me and Shotty battling at the time. None of the other rappers in Mosh Team wanted to battle. Like, they were just strictly rappers. So it was like, yeah, let's build, because basically we only put like one song out, and the buzz for our Mosh Team was mad. It was weird. It was like a cult, and we had no music out.
Right.
But people were buying merch and stuff, so it was like, right, let's take it into the battle rap side. And we brought in Yunnan, and fucking Uno Lavos. That was random.
Oh shit, Uno was in Mosh.
Yeah, well, I don't know who brought him in, but yeah, that was a random addition. He shouted out in a few battles as well.
Yeah, I think he did, yeah.
But yeah, that didn't last very long. But yeah, it was just us, and then people like Black Josh and Sleazy and CA Monk and that joined the Life of Riley. But yeah, Mosh Team was a good thing, man. Just say we died as well.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think, certain era of Don't Flop fans definitely remember Mosh Team. If they weren't sure exactly what it was definitely this affiliate of people, and it got mentioned in a lot of battles as angles as well, so it's always interesting to see. Now, a battle that I want to talk about that a lot of people probably haven't seen, but that holds some sentimental reason to my heart, is you versus Nash. Because I actually saw this in person. This was my first Don't Flop event. I got into Don't Flop sort of like May, April of 2012, and then this was the next event that was going down in August, and this was kind of a Blam event in Night and Day Cafe, which is sort of in the northern quarter. And looking back, BRIGGZY, it's crazy that like on paper the card isn't that great. Like, it was a good card, O'Shea Pamphlet was like the headliner, and Matt Verb T and Joker Star, Jefferson Price, but it was packed. It was really busy.
Yeah, Chronicle did something really well with Don't Flop. Like, he branded it more as like a nightlife event, which worked for a bit. It was just, obviously, towards the end of them sort of nightlife events, they're just too hard to do because people get drunk and don't want to party and stuff. But yeah, he built something really good with them events. They were really well run, and people were just there to get, I think it was just people there to get drunk, so students just loved it. But yeah, every like Blam event was really busy and loud and lively. But yeah, he did something good with that event, Chronicle.
How did the whole Chronicle thing happen, him getting involved with Don't Flop?
He was with Don't Flop before I was.
Yeah.
From what I remember being told, he'd already been a battler in Don't Flop, and at the very early stages, and just asked Rowan if he could do one event in Manchester, which was to the Test 1, I think. And then obviously that was a bit of a success, so they just let him carry on doing it. And then, I just know there was a lot of politics with him. I think he fell out with a few staff members and kind of came to the end of Chronicle at Don't Flop. But yeah, it was a shame because he did have something really good going. Like I say, there was nowhere for people like myself or Shotty to battle without them events. So, yeah, I mean,
he's
that's why.
He's kind of his own worst enemy, wasn't he, Chronicle? Like, undeniably talented as a promoter, but...
Yeah, I don't even know what it means. I mean, to be fair, me and Chronicle have never seen eye to eye, like, ever. But yeah, I can't take nothing away from what he did. He built the establishment in Manchester for battle rap, so, well done to him for doing that.
Know your role. You Irishmen only come to Blam because you thought it stood for bombs, leprechauns and motorhomes. That is a subject that I find blatantly disrespectful, and I feel like this shit needs to be brought up. And I ain't aiming at all Irishmen, just that DFI league and lack of respect as individuals you all clutch. See, that racist piece of shit of a league you represent is the reason I'm caught up. So since that ginger faggot of a president ain't here, I'ma stick a blade in this plank and watch it fall like sawdust.
As I say before, this is my first real experience of an event, and I remember it was like supposed to start at like 7, and we got out at like 2 a.m. or something like that. Like, it ran for such a long time. And I don't know if you remember, but there was a tryout battle beforehand. I don't know if you guys were the first battle, maybe the first or second battle, but the guys both choked too much, and said, like, at the end of the battle, like, this isn't going to be released, like, you've got to up your game.
Yeah, I do. Oh, who was that now? I remember the guy. You know what?
I can't remember the guys. They were sort of Lunar clones.
Yeah, what was he called? You know what? I bumped into one of them not long ago.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I can't remember their names. No, I remember what they looked like, but yeah. You took on Nash, and your record is 4 wins, 3 losses at this point. Nash is 1 win, 2 losses. The climate was different. There's loads of people just there who were, Soul's just there. He's not battling, but, there's just sort of a good assortment of fans. And Nash is, he's quite belligerent. He's quite handy when he battles.
Yeah, he likes to poke in the chest and push and that. That was the first battle that I battled that I did that. But was it that battle? No, I think it was the Mickey Worth. No, yeah, you know what? It wasn't that battle. I wasn't going to show up for that battle. And I text Chronicle on the day, and I was like, look, basically what happened is my missus, her auntie passed away the same day.
Right.
So she was in obviously a bit of a state. So I text Chronicle, and I was like, I can't make it to this event. And he texted me back saying, if you don't turn up, you're banned from Don't Flop. So I was like, so obviously I was fuming at this point anyway, because obviously he knew the situation.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I rang Shotty and I was like, you know what, fuck it, let's just go down to the event. Turned up, and I remember gripping her outside, like not in a fighting sort of way, I just pulled him aside and I was like, what's this about me being banned from Don't Flop if I don't turn up to this? And he was like, I don't know what you're on about. Like, that was just Chronicle making that up.
Right.
So I think, if I remember rightly, I've not watched that battle for years, but I'm sure I looked pretty pissed off at the start, even before anything's been said, because I've just come out of an argument. And then obviously Nash is pushing me and poking me and that. I remember that being pretty tense. I'm sure K-Snatch started shouting. Was he called K-Snatch?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, Irish.
It does get tense. You're definitely right, yeah. And
it was a good battle. That I remember I had the Irish on my case for a bit after that battle.
Yeah, you do a sort of potato stuff like that, and some sort of generic attacks. Yeah. You talk about the politics behind the scenes, fucking up your third in the Yunnan battle. Yeah,
that was the whole lab battle shit. And there was a bit, to be honest, there was a couple, but I think it was around the Nash time. This is when I started falling out of love with battle rap and the whole Don't Flop thing. Like, there was a lot of things going back and forward behind the scenes that people don't realise. Because of the whole lab battle thing, people did kind of just go, oh, this guy's lab battles, let's not fuck with him. Especially because Shotty was only battling like once or twice a year as well, so he didn't really get it. I was the consistent one, so I was doing like 6 or 7 battles a year. So I obviously got it more. And plus, Shotty was a star as well. You're not going to piss Shotty off, are you?
Sure.
But yeah, there was a few little bit. I think there was a few things like I was told I was going to get an international and I didn't. And then, I can't remember. There was a few things. It was all sorted out though. I got banned from Don't Flop like 4 times, me.
Right.
Yeah, I got banned. I think I said it against Soul as well. Like Chronicle banned me before that. I got banned like every 2 weeks for something I didn't even do most of the time. But it was. I remember that Nash battle being pretty fun. I like that sort of aggressiveness, me. I like when someone's, because I like to be a performer.
Yeah.
So I like to, if it's I prefer a stage to pit because I'm used to stage as a rapper, and I know I've got freedom to move around. So I remember that was like one of my first proper stage battles besides Soul. But yeah, it was good. I'm glad I'm going back over to Ireland as well. Their crowds are lively as fuck.
Yeah. I was thinking actually this battle was a bit of a taster of the whole Premier Battles thing altogether. Like,
yeah, it's a shame Nash ain't battling anymore.
Yeah.
He was battle Nash.
Yeah, definitely. I had Sayo on the show recently. We spoke about Nash, and yeah, he was definitely had a persona of his own. Yeah, and potato picker, cattle thief, you call him as well. Don't Flop had to buy his mother a caravan to get him to battle you. It's Martin Luther Ginge, you call yourself.
Oh, just cringy, wanna.
I have a dream, you say. And yeah, Nash it comes with slightly absurd stuff. Dick's so small you could have sex with flies.
Fair play.
Yeah. It's pretty obtuse.
Creative imagination.
He calls out your Misfits crew. Who were the Misfits?
So Misfits was my group before Mosh Team. We were doing quite a few bits, to be honest. We was literally non-stop performing all the time. Misfits had, because we was like the first rap group sort of thing from Salford, where I'm from. So we, to be honest, we had quite a little buzz going, and then that's one of the things like around this time of like Nash and Hazard and that sort of period. I was doing that much music. My prep for battles was just like, I'll just wing it sort of thing. I know a lot of rappers like to go, prep on the night before. I'm not that bad, but at that time, I knew where I was going. I knew I wasn't going to be a top name in Don't Flop, so I wasn't going to try to be a top name in Don't Flop, if that makes sense.
Sure.
But yeah, Misfits was my old group. Illitant from Mosh Team was a Misfit at one point.
Right.
So yeah, it was a good little crew. That was all young kids.
And you mentioned DFI and Don't Flop Island, and it's to fight in Irish, but obviously it's the same initials, and the mix-up and that sort of stuff, and you like a AIM, MIA, flip it, sort of missing in action, twist stuff. But the the best thing is sort of his eyes, like they are the fighting iris.
I don't remember saying that.
It's pretty funny punch. And the whole DFI Don't Flop Island thing, that was a bit of a joke, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't really know what happened to that. It just kind of ended, didn't it?
Yeah. I don't really know the grand history of it, but I mean, all in all, you take it. Double L gives it to you the first 2 rounds. Soul enjoyed it. Chris Lees as well. Free zip, you take it.
Nice. Yeah, I think this is when I went on a little run for a bit. I don't think I lost for a bit, if I remember rightly. I probably lost my next battle.
Well, if you go through your verse tracker, you can normally predict someone's career through the verse tracker. They go from the minor leagues to the bigger leagues, whatever, internationals. But you're sort of on Don't Flop, and then suddenly out of nowhere, 3 battles on Got Beef in Australia. So how did this trip happen?
Random, to be honest. So I was working in town, so I had just like a normal 9-to-5 job, and I turned up one Monday morning, and the padlock was on the door. It was a scam, the company. So I came home, I had a bit of savings, and I was like, got no job again, I can't be arsed with this shit. So I just went to Australia for a year.
Right.
I only ended up staying like 7 months, but it was just a getaway for myself. I just had to kind of get a load of shit going on over there. Just wanted to go away and mature for a bit. But yeah, when I landed, for some reason, I didn't even put out that I was going that much. But I landed in Australia. I had like Decoy in my inbox, and there was another rap battle league. I forgot what it was called at the time. 1 Ounce, sorry, with Mikey Pipes.
Oh yeah.
So I had them in my inbox, and it was like, right, we know you're in Melbourne. Do you want to battle for us? So I was like, yeah, go on. And I was like, who have you got? So my first one was it Cryptic?
Cryptic was the first, yeah.
Yeah, so that card was meant to have Antidote versus DNA on. It was like heavily pushed around the city and stuff. Decoy was telling me it was going to be a sellout. I turned up and there was probably 20 people there tops.
Right.
DNA didn't show.
Shit.
But this Cryptic kid was like one of the top guys. I think he just battled for the Got Beef title or something. And I didn't, to be honest, I didn't really try. I think I battled I've been in Australia like 3 weeks. But I'd watched a few of his battles, and he was like a solid mid-tier for Don't Flop, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So yeah, I just prepped for him, but there was a battler there that I noticed called The Kid, who I went and battled.
Yeah.
But I did 2 battles in 1 day on that one.
Yeah, you battled Educate, right?
Yeah, Educate. So basically, me and The Kid got pretty cool while I was in Australia, so I was chilling with him for a bit. And he was like, for me, he was like their top battler for Got Beef.
Okay.
So he was like, yeah, let's just have a battle, let's just do that. And basically, Decoy had promised Educate that he'd get a good battle for his next one. And he promised him me, which I had no idea about. I don't know why he considered me a good battle. I must have got pushed as like some international just because I'm living there.
Right.
But yeah, Decoy was like, well, I've already told Educate you'll battle him. And I was like, well, bro, you can't tell people I'm going to battle him if I've not agreed to it. And he was like, right, do me a favour, I'll pay you X amount. Just battle Educate and The Kid on the same event. So I was like, mate, have you seen my track record? I'm not the best rememberer. But I think I only stumbled in 1 round. And to be honest, the stumble that I had against The Kid, I tried putting a flip in the middle of my third. I think it was the 3rd round, and it just fell flat.
Right.
But to be honest, the Australian crowd, I did well over there. I think I left like 2. I was going to battle on Real Talk. I was in talk with Dwiz over there, and I ended up coming home about 7 months after. But yeah, that was a good time. It was good to experience an international crowd because I've not battled abroad at that point. So that was different. Plus, just showing you like how big. I remember being in bars over there, and people were like, "Oh, fuck." Basically, Rowan flew out. I don't know if you knew that. Rowan met me in Australia.
Right.
So I stayed with Rowan for like 2 weeks, and we was going in bars, and people was going, "Oh, BRIGGZY Rowan from Don't Flop" in random bars in Australia. And we was like, "Yo, this is mental."
That is crazy.
That was when I came back, and it was like, yes, I knew Don't Flop was really fucking doing something at this point. But yeah, it's a good experience. Definitely would advise it to anyone to go and battle in another country.
Yeah, were you like the wise guy over there? Because I guess like you've got the don't flop experience that none of these guys really have, you know.
Yeah, I mean, their top tier for me was like, for me, I thought the Kid was up there. People like Nicotine and Pros, they're like, they'd run with most people in Don't Flop. But like, no disrespect to a lot of the roster at that time, but I knew I was comfortable against any of them. Didn't really have to try. But it was good to see how new it was. Obviously, Real Talk is smashing it now. Some of their battlers like Dundee and Vega. And,
oh my god, yeah.
They've really come through and shown that they can hang with the best of us. But at that time, like their best representations were like Decoy, you know what I mean? And so didn't battle, 360 didn't battle anymore. I don't even think Dundee was battling at that point.
No, maybe on Growing Time Australia or something, but yeah, not. I don't know where he actually was. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't remember his name ringing.
No.
But yeah, it's good to see where they've come from, where I was, because the events were getting like 20 people in the door. So it's good. It's good to be there at the early stages. I'd love to go back and do it again, to be honest.
Yeah, is there like some BRIGGZY following over there just because you went there like a few years ago? Like maybe you could come back and battle Dundee or some shit.
Oh, that'd be class. To be honest, I was in talks to do. Have you heard of BK Ultra?
No.
So BK Ultra was on the Don't Flop Australia card. He had like battle of the night over there. I was in talks when it was Don't Flop Australia to go back out and battle him. But I don't know. I don't even know what happened to Don't Flop Australia. I think he just died. But yeah, I'd love to go back out. If there is a little fan base there, it's probably bigger than the one I've got in England in a minute. Right. So I'm definitely up for it.
You battled Mixie on Distinction, which I think again was quite a good card, wasn't it? Sort of early 2013.
Yeah, back at the Wardrobe. That was busy as well. I can't remember who was on that card, but there was a couple of internationals, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who the internationals were. Oh, I think Uno came over for O'Shea.
Yeah, Uno O'Shea was there. Zayn Azrai, Mark Grist, I think, was there.
No, that was to the Test 10.
That's to the Test 10.
Yeah. There was like Euphorical versus Matter and shit like that.
Yeah. You know what was weird with this event? I was banned from Don't Flop and didn't know I was banned.
Right.
Again. So I'd come back from Australia, and bear in mind, I'd been chilling with her in Australia as well.
Right.
But this Shotty and Arsenal, this is the only Shotty battle I didn't watch, the Arsenal one, because I was in Australia. So after that, Shotty fell out with Rowan, battled on King of the Dot, and that's when they was doing the whole fuck Don't Flop thing, and it was loads of beef shit. So I missed all this. I was in Australia oblivious to the whole thing. Came back and I messaged Rowan and I was like, yo, when are you going to book me again? Because I've not heard from him for weeks. And he was like, when you tell you... He messaged me something funny back, like, when you and your crew stopped saying fuck Don't Flop or something. And I was like, what are you talking about? I've been away for 7 months. I don't know what you're talking about. So he's like, oh, I assumed because Shotty's got beef with us, you have. And I was like, fucking I'll never assume something that one of my friends has got is something to do with me as well. Like, at least talk to me and your friend. And then we just spoke it out, and it was originally meant to be me and Jolly J.
Right, yeah.
But I don't know what happened to that. I think Jolly J...
He battled Eek on this card, I think.
Yeah, he must have turned it down, but that's literally what was set up at first. And then it was... No, to be fair, it was me and Jolly J. That didn't happen. And then it was me and... Remember Diligent Fingers?
No, I don't, actually. No.
There was a kid called Diligent Fingers from Manchester. He's a pretty big, like, D&B MC up here now.
Right.
But that got offered to me, and that didn't happen for some reason. And then he was like, would you battle Mixie? And I was like, I didn't really want to do it. I had nothing to say to Mixie. Like, I'd not really watched any battles, and it was just a weird one. But, I just approached this one all wrong, to be honest. I got into, me and Shotty were talking about stage presence and stuff, and I was like, fuck. Because I've been sort of a comedy writer. Not a comedy writer, but I used to use a lot of jokes.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to switch up with this one. I'm going to become the heel sort of thing. And it just didn't work. It didn't work. It flopped very terribly. To be fair, though, I thought Mixie had... I know you're a big Mixie fan, aren't you?
I don't mind him. Yeah, I think he's quite good here.
I thought he had a few bars that I thought were good. And then there was some that I thought were terrible and people were going mental for. But yeah, I remember I was fucking fuming when I lost that battle. I remember being pretty pissed off after it. But looking back now, I have watched it since and gone, yeah, you know what? He beat me on that one. Is what it is. I just approached the whole thing wrong. I should have just been how I usually was.
Yeah.
But
why do you think you lost that battle?
I don't think Mosh Team helped.
Right.
not even because of anything. People were giving Ian Daniels a hard time at the time as well.
Yeah.
Like, battle rap crews just weren't in. So I had, obviously, Mosh Team were behind me, hyping. Mixie was on his own. So when they're reacting to my bars, it was weird. It like automatically put fans off. You notice it with a load of like Mr. 13 battles when Ian Daniels are reacting. A lot of fans are thinking, "Fucking idiots."
Right.
So it was weird. But yeah, I think that threw me off, and I just approached it wrong. It come across as like I was trying to bully rather than battle. It was weird. It was just a weird atmosphere, the whole thing. But I spoke to Mixie after it. We're cool. Like I just lost that battle. It was a learning moment.
Yeah. And this marks a long time away from Don't Flop, like more than a year, pretty much. Obviously with the trip in between and all that sort of stuff. You return versus Bamalam, and I remember at the time this was what it was hyped as. You know, we hadn't seen you in the ring for a long time, and what an occasion to make it. This being the Manchester versus London Ritz mega event.
With a click, you know you've heard of that. We push a person back so far, Bergerac could solve the murder rap. There's no turning back. Bam, I watched 3 battles. Every verse was whack. I'm cold, you try stand up and get funny, you'll catch your death like Bernie Mac. I'm back. The line heads like the cut of a barber. They told me you was the next to bang, bang, well cool, cause I'm that silencer to silence you. Each round the muffle the spark of. You can use your legs to get ahead like it's a hurricane, but just for sticking round, you'll take body shots like a fucking piano.
This was a mad one, because I had no intention of coming back to battle rap.
Yeah.
I think it was just like, I was mad at losing to Mixie, and it was like, I didn't know where my direction was with battle, and I thought I was done with it. And then I was still speaking to Rowan. Like, me and Rowan were friends. Like, outside of battle rap, we were cool. We were chilling pretty close. You know what I mean? So I remember speaking to Rowan. I was like, "Let's do an event in Manchester." Like, I'm not asked about battling. The whole event was obviously just put on Shotty Tony D.
Yeah.
And we was like, rather than just do Shotty Tony D and 5 battles, let's make it a concept. Get fans involved. Like, this is the first time we did press conferences and everything. Like. It was a proper marketing campaign, probably 3 or 4 months planned before we even announced anything. And then it was like, right, let's do Manchester versus London. The idea was to do Manchester versus London 2 in London, but obviously it just never happened. But yeah, we was going through names, and to be honest, at the time, there wasn't that many Manchester battle rappers. It was like, who was it? Meat Tox had just done his debut.
No Bobby Rex.
Yeah, Bobby Rex didn't exist at that point. Raptor was like 4 battles in, maybe. This was like Raptor's breakthrough onto a big stage sort of battle. Obviously, I've not battled for a while. You know what it was meant to be? It was meant to be me versus Gemini.
Wow, fuck, really?
Thank God that didn't happen.
Oh, shit.
He
was there, though, wasn't he? He was
there.
Yeah,
he was there. Yeah. So what happened was, it was original. Gemini had only just beat Raptor for the first time.
Right.
So he was kind of like the new up-and-coming kid. And I always like battling up-and-comers. Like, I really wanted to battle Kid Verbal for a while when it just come out. So I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll take Gemini. I'm so glad that didn't happen. Jesus Christ, thinking about it now, I've just been mauled, wouldn't I? But yeah, I don't know what happened. I just don't think Gem was available for it, or he had another battle close to the time, or something. Something didn't work out anyway. Then it was like, right, makes sense to do Shotty versus Tony D, me versus Locksmith. So it's like, yeah, go on, I'll do that then. And then I don't know what happened again. Locksmith had an argument with Rowan, that didn't come to fruition. It was like, basically got to like 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks before the event, and it was like, I'm in a chat with me, Kruger, Rowan, Shotty, and Bamalam. And then I think Rowan said as a joke, "Why don't you battle Bamalam?" And Bamalam's like, "I'm down." I was like, "Yeah, fuck it, go on then." But I knew I had to turn up on that occasion because I had so long out, and I thought I lost at North versus South. I just lost to Mixer. People are not expecting nothing. Like, everyone on the internet was saying I'm going to get annihilated because Bamalam was unbeaten. I think he just come off the back of the 100 Bullets battle. Is that right?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
So yeah, everyone was like, "Oh, Briggs is going to get annihilated." And I thought, "There's no way I'm going to get murdered in Manchester in the Ritz in front of like 1,000 people." That just can't happen.
I can't believe how many people are there. It's just, when you drop a punchline, like, just huge applause ripples out.
Oh, mate. Was you at the event?
I wasn't at the event, but just on cam, it's like...
Oh, mate, if you was... I don't think the camera even does it
Yeah.
justice. Like, when you was on stage, like, for me, this was the best event I've ever done. When you was on stage, like, especially when Shotty and Tony were battling, the stage was vibrating. Like, it was fucking insane. But when I remember every battle walked out on stage at the start, and everyone looked at each other and was like, whoa, this isn't a battle event, this is like a show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a little like 8 Mile thing backstage. I remember being sat there and I was like second on, I think. And Rowan walked in and was like, yo, you're going on first. I was like, I'm not going on first, not a prayer. And he's like, right, fuck it, I'll put Sean on, Big J on. So I sat backstage, like I think the third round of that battle, you don't see me because I'm sat backstage. And Shotty walks in and he goes, yo, you cannot walk off that stage with a loss. And he did like some whole team talk, like morale boosting and all that. And to be fair, it worked because when I walked on stage, I think that's when you watch my first round, I'm too animated because the adrenaline's took over. Like I'm screaming. And I remember, I think you can see it on footage. I turn around after like 4 or 5 bars, and Shotty's like going, "Yo, chill your breathing," and then just like it's like the whole moment just took over me. Then it was bad. I didn't expect it to go how it went. To be honest.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, you get some huge things off. Crew's a bunch of retards.
I wanted to get that on the t-shirt.
It's iconic, that line. Like,
it's mad because it was just a filler. I think it's just the way I delivered it, and the crowd went off as well.
yeah. And as we say, so many fucking people there. Like, I've been to gigs there and stuff, and it's just mad to see the recognizable venue with you 5 sets of battlers on there. And you had this sort of structural thing here, talking about the morgue and what you're going to do in each verse, each round. What was that about?
I don't know, to be honest, because I had so long out. I was like, I had time to sit down and think, if I come back to battling, how do I want to be perceived? And because I thought, because I came up off punchlines, like I was if you listen to my early music, it's shit, but I'm very like punchline heavy because I used to listen to Big L, Fabulous, and like Cassidy and everything. Like, so my style of writing was like that.
Right. So
I thought I don't want to be doing the joke side of it anymore because there was people like Calcium Kid, O'Shea, NEP, Frisco. There was a lot of big jokers at the time. Lunacy, and I thought I'm not going to compete in that market. I was like, the only thing Dope Flock doesn't really have, it sounds weird saying it now, is like the villain sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm just going to be an arsehole. And it kind of worked for a bit. I had like a little run with it, and I was like, it got to a point where I was like, yeah, I don't want to be doing this anymore. I'm not having fun with it. I'm like taking myself too serious. But yeah, just because Bamalam's such a nice guy as well, I thought if I come out joking, it might counteract off the fact he's a nice guy. Whereas if I'm an arsehole to him, people are going to be like, this is completely different to what we saw him do before and didn't expect. But yeah, it was more tactical, that, to be honest. So just kind of, I don't even know where the coroner shit came from, to be honest. I had a mixtape called The Coroner's Report, and it just kind of stuck. I think it was all just marketing for that.
Yeah. Did it feel good to take the win?
Oh, mate, it felt fucking amazing. You know what? Yeah, I walked off stage, and I remember bumping into Callum Martin the first time I ever met him.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, you lost that to Bamalam. And I remember being stood with Shotty, and I was like, shut up, you. Who are you talking to? Not a prayer that I'd lose that. And he was like, yeah, you know what? I think it was 3-0 Bam. And he still says it now. He still says I lost the Bam.
Right.
You're a dickhead.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think undeniably, unfortunately, the crowd didn't really rock with Bam that much, it seems.
Yeah, you know what it was with Bam? I say this to him when I see him as well. Like, on stage, I mean, obviously it looks different on camera because you're paying attention, but when he was on stage, he had no performance. It was like, so it was whether he didn't want to do the battle or he just couldn't be asked, or I don't really know, but it wasn't a Bamalam performance. And that sounds like I'm taking it away from the win as well. Like, I'm not. If I think it would have been a lot closer if he would have performed how he did with 100 Bullets, or to be fair, like I say though, I performed on the Ritz stage of doing music, so I know how big it was. I know how big the room is. That's why I was shouting a lot of time, because I knew I had to project in the venue. Some stages like that swallow some battlers, and I don't know whether that got to him or what. Like, it just wasn't. It was weird. Yeah, I'll be honest, I expected more of a battle from it, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it happens to some. I've seen some battlers do that. Some battlers are fucking amazing in the pit. You put them on stage and they crumble.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good battle. He still give it a run, didn't it?
Yeah. You're right. It's a tough transition as well. I mean, one of the reasons Shotty versus Tony's so good is that the stage makes it even better. Like they perform so well. Both of them are stars. And you battled. Am I saying this right? Ress on Oil City Battles.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Reese, yeah, because he called himself Reese's Pieces. So
right.
Yeah.
What the hell's this?
So this was in Norway, the famous Oil City Battles.
Right.
What's he called? He runs that now. Tony Ray.
Right. Okay.
So basically, I'd just done the locksmith battle in October, I think it was, maybe. And Oil City Battles contacted Raps, but I was managing Raps at the time, so I got all his bookings. And I got an email saying we'd like to bring Raptor out to Norway to battle whoever Raptor battle, do or whatever he was called. Pay him X amount, we'll do this. So I was like, right, yep, let's lock it in. And then I remember I was on the phone to Tony Ray sorting all Raptor's flights out, and he was like, do you want to come out? So I was like, well, yeah. Go on then. Like, who have you got for me? And he sent me this Reza kid. To be honest, I knew it was like battling someone who's never battled before, even though he'd had a couple of battles. Like I knew I didn't even have to try. I think you can clearly tell that because I freestyled 2 rounds. Like 2 rounds are completely freestyled. There's one round where I'm just picking people out of the crowd and freestyling over battle. It was a terrible. To be honest, the whole experience was a fucking nightmare.
Right.
We got fed bread rolls.
Yeah, that was the place, right? Wow.
Yeah, it was just. I mean, to be fair, he paid us. He paid us what he was owed to pay, but it was just. I just remember the whole thing was just a fucking nightmare. So we turned up to the event. We got me, Flex, Raptor, P Soldier, Delahaye TV, I think, was there, and we just got fucking Bowski. We just got smashed. And Mickey Murphy was there as well, I think. Yeah, right. we just got smashed and all that. I think every single one of us just freestyled 3 rounds and won. Like it was just fair play. To be fair, the Norwegian scene is decent. Like all the fans that turn out, they're all sick. They all love battle rap.
Yeah.
It was just the experience that we got travelling over. We just got left to the side, to be honest. So no one was really asked about it. Whereas wherever else I've been in the world, you've been treated like you're there as a guest. You know what I mean? So it was an experience. It was probably one of, if it ever got deleted, I probably would not be asked about.
Right. And was it around this time that you became staff of Don't Flop?
Yeah. So to be fair, I was pretty much already staff. Manchester vs London was my first event. So I wasn't made officially staff, but that was the first event I had a hand in putting together, running, doing everything for it. And then Roll was kind of like, do you want to take up the Manchester division? We'll give you 2 events as like a tryout thing. But I didn't really use him, to be honest. He pretty much offered me the job straight away. But yeah, that's like, I was pretty much I was cool with them all anyway. I was in all the group staff chats and stuff. But yeah, I was made staff officially around that time.
And was that a dream come true?
I wouldn't say a dream come true. It was like, you know what? I did want to get involved with it. I was cool with all the staff members. I love putting them in Manchester because I've been doing events for years anyway, like music events in Manchester. So I've been doing these sort of things. So it was like, I was happy when I got invited to do it. I knew I could have done something with Don't Flop. I still think we could have done something with Don't Flop. Like it was going in the right direction. The amount of meetings I was doing, and we had a lot of plans to do a lot of major shit with it. But it's just sad how it turned out, to be honest. But yeah. Don't regret any moment of Don't Flop. Like it was a sick thing. It still is a sick thing, but it's just obviously not what it was.
And I'm guessing you feel you learnt a lot from Don't Flop.
Yeah, definitely. Because like I said, I've done gigs with music artists and stuff, but the way I was allowed to, basically I had complete freedom over my events. Like some event promoters at Don't Flop had to get everything confirmed. I was like one of the few ones where they basically said to me, right, do this, and I'd be like, right, yeah, I'm going to put an event on this day, I've sorted this venue, and these are the battles that I want, and they'd just be like, yep, cool, go and do it. I think they kind of trusted that I knew what I was doing, so I enjoyed that. I never had any sort of leash on me or anything. But yeah, it was good because obviously I was coming to the point as well where I wasn't too arsed about battling. So this kind of kept me in the scene, still getting to meet people and being around everyone that I was cool with, and not having to battle. So it was like a nice little transition.
Yeah, and you were still battling fairly regularly, really, in
Yeah.
2015, 2016. You battled Old English, Locksmith as well, where that guy passed out in the battle.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, I thought he was dead,
He hit the floor, crazy.
Yeah, mate. Was you there for that?
No, again, you see him smack, like...
Oh, mate, when he hit, me and Locksmith, like, I think the battle cuts, like, he has a quick cut jump there, but me and Locksmith look at each other like, yo, he's dead. What you don't see is Raptor run out the crowd and put him in the recovery position.
Oh my god, shit.
Raptor turned into a first aid medic, mate. Everyone else was just staring at him. There was like 300 people just watching this guy on the floor.
Christ, man. Yeah.
But yeah, that was a memorable one.
And Locke inevitably freestyles about it as well, which is a bit of a given. You mentioned Raptor before, so it must have been great to see someone who'd meant to be battled L's all that time ago come into the scene himself, from Words of Weapons. Young Guns Fusion was the tryout, right? And then Raptor just sort of flourished to become top tier very quickly.
Yeah, the thing with Raptor is like, if you chat to anyone in Manchester that knows Raptor, every single person say the same thing. He's one of the most talented artists in this city. He's just, when he was younger, he just got involved in too much daft shit. Like, a lot of people do, don't they? A lot of people just get caught up in shit they don't need to be caught up in. But I think I was one of the very few people to go visit him when he was in prison. I remember having loads of chats with him, like, yo, when you get out, it's like now or never. If you go back into prison, no one's going to care about who you are or how talented you are next time. And he took it all, to be honest. He came out and he did exactly what he needed to do. A lot of people wrote him off. I know a lot of friends that were like, when I was going, I'm going to go watch Raptor battle this weekend, there was people going, nah, I'm not going to go. Like, he's a lost cause. And he fucking proved them all wrong, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, like, the Big Cannon battle, the Tony battle, they're some of the best performances ever. Like,
oh yeah, I remember that Big Cannon battle. Like, how prepped he was for that alone. Like, that's the most I've ever seen him prepped. And he just fucking. That's one of my favourite ever Don't Flop battles. That.
Yeah, such a good battle. Yeah, fucking incredible battle. How did you and him team up against Italian Shocks?
It was something we'd wanted to do for a while, to be honest. 2-on-2 started getting popular again. And we write together all the time anyway, like, just not even battles, like music, like, we were literally always writing with each other. And we was like, let's just, because me and Shotty were talking about doing it for a while, but Shotty was battling fucking Charlie Eclipses and that, and I'm battling Eeks, like, it just didn't make sense. And me and Raptor were just chatting one night. Was it Revival 1 that it was when it was the first Revival?
Was it?
I think cool. So, yeah. It was like Soul and Chris Lees, I think was the second.
Yeah, that was the headliner, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, what happened was we was chatting and Rowan was like, why don't you do a 2-on-2? And he was like, yeah, go on, let's give it a go, sort of thing. And we was going through names and was like, let's try and get someone who's not done a 2-on-2 before as well, but two names that would match up sort of stylistically with us. And I remember chatting to Shocks, because I used to chat to Shocks quite a bit. And I was like, would you do a 2-on-2? And he was like, yeah, what? Because Shocks had just joined High Rise at the time.
Right.
With Tally as well. Now, me and Raptor used to be members of High Rise years ago. And then whatever happened with that, they kind of joined, I don't know, Flex signed every battle in the world, didn't it? So they all joined High Rise. And we'd had a disagreement, me and Flex, Raptor and Flex, Shotty and Flex, like, we was all tight boys in it, and we had a disagreement, and it became some sort of, like, mad mosh team versus High Rise shit, which it wasn't, because we was cool with everyone in High Rise besides Flex at the time. But yeah, they agreed to do it, and then it was, to be honest, 2-on-2s are weird things to do, because it's like, Raptor had just come from South Africa, like, the week before our battle with Tally and Shocks. So we literally had 3 days prep or something. I know Tally and Shocks were exactly the same because they had some shit going on. So it was a weird. I'd love to do another one. To be fair, me and Raptor, we've got another 2-on-2 this year. I'll let that be announced before anything comes out though.
Yeah. Okay.
But Yeah, they're different. They're fun to do. You don't have to remember as much as well.
Yeah, yeah. And do you find yourself being able to give the other one prompts when they slip up as well? You sort of know their lines, don't you?
Yeah, but yeah, this is one thing. Let me clear this up as well. So on the 2-on-2, I didn't joke. Raptor said my bar.
Right. There's a difference, yeah.
He got gassed up that much. He started spitting my bars. So that's when I look at him and go, "That's my bar." But it looks like I joked because I didn't know his bar. So everyone always goes, "Oh, Briggsy joked in that." I didn't. He just fucking carried on spitting all the scheme. But yeah, they're good to do, man. They're fun. They're really fun to do, especially if you're tight with it.
And the next big event you were part of, one of the best events in a long time for Don't Flop, Sunburn 2.
Yeah.
You battled Cojay, and the build-up to this battle was classic.
Yeah. You know what it is, yeah? I've always been a fan of Cojay. For me, Cojay is like, he says it himself, he's inconsistently great.
Yeah.
Like, I remember watching a couple Cojay battles, and I think, who did he battle? Was it Mr. Ree, maybe?
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, I like this kid's sick. So I remember we did, just after the battle, Shocks and Tally, Cojay was at the event, and Rowan came out, and he was like, look, we're doing Sunburn. Who do you want to battle? So I was like, you know what about Cojay? Like, I like I think Cojay had a bit of time out as well. So I was like, let's do that. So Cojay was there, we agreed, it shook hands. Everything was all cool. Cojay had just moved around the corner from me, so I was helping him out with like getting it hooked up with a few bits of stuff around there and that. And so we were talking quite a bit, but then he went for a night out after it with a couple Don't Flop people and said something about me which got Chinese whispers in it. So I got fed a few lies basically, and it kind of went from there. So I called Cojay the next day and I was like, look, what's this that I'm hearing? And he was just like flat out denying it. But so a couple of people got a grasp of that we'd had an argument and just blew it up online. But then I chatted to Cojay and I was like, fuck this, let's just run with this. This is a marketing campaign. Like, let's go. No one cares about BRIGGZY versus Cojay. Let's make them care about it. And it became one of the most anticipated on the card.
Yeah. I remember being really excited to watch this along with Crafty and Jay Shaw. And part of it was because of the build-up, the press conference that you guys did. I thought that especially was pretty spicy between you.
Yeah, because we both kind of chatted and cooled it, but he was still like, I still wanted to annihilate him, and he still obviously fucking wanted to murder me. But yeah, that was a sick. I remember going into that battle thinking we're gonna have something good on our hands here. To be fair, I was confident with what I had written. I thought I'd stand up pretty well, but Jesus, he snapped.
Yeah, he was really fucking good. His first especially is crazy.
Yeah, there was a couple lines where I usually try and not react to when my opponent's spitting, just because sometimes I think you can throw your opponent off as well, and I don't want to do that. But yeah, he was saying some shit. I remember stood there thinking, fuck, here it goes.
Yeah. It almost kicked off with the hats as well.
Yeah, to be fair, that was my bad. Obviously, that was at the time when I was getting in people's faces and that. Like, I was trying to play the heel sort of villain thing.
Right.
And my hat flicked him in the nose, but obviously I didn't know that. All I heard him say was, get out. I think he said something like, get out of my fucking face or something. But I had not known my peak had hit him in the face. So I thought he was just trying to start shit in the middle of a battle. So I was like, what are you saying? Which famously Danny Jack is quoted.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. Shook hands after it. We're cool now. Like, obviously he's in Pride. Like, we're good. He's Cojay cool, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a good battle. That is really good battle.
Yeah, it's even though I got killed, it's one of my favourite battles that I did. That, like, the energy of it and everything was just
it was
just fun.
Yeah, definitely. And battled the villain as well. This is at checkpoint 3, right? Before Raptor versus Soul.
Yeah, villain asked for this.
Yeah.
I don't really know where it came about from, to be honest. Rowan just messaged me like, villain wants to battle you. So I was like, alright, cool. The thing with villain is, I know, similar to Soul, I'm never going to outright villain. Like, villain's, for me, one of the top writers. When he's on his day anyway, like, he's fucking incredible. But I've always said villain's performance lets him down. Especially when it was in the pit outdoors. Like, I think anyone that was there on the day was like, villain lost. But when you watch it back on camera, I lose because of the bar content. But people, like, I think someone said it on one of your podcasts, well, like, I think with Jen actually, like, you can't hear villain unless he's mic'd up, you can't hear him. But yeah, I just tried to have a bit of fun with that one. I didn't take it too serious. It was a weird battle. It was not one I probably would have expected to ever do until he called me out. But like I say, Rowan will probably tell you this as well. If he puts a battle to me, I'm not one of them people that are going to go, nah, I don't want to battle him, I want a bigger name. Like, if you call me out, I'll probably battle you.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you know that.
Exactly. Yeah, we're going to get to that. But just before we do, you battled Mr. E, who was sort of returning. Sunburn free. I mean, it was quite obvious here, BRIGGZY, from the outside, that Don't Flop wasn't quite as popular as it once had been.
Yeah. Yeah, that. You know what? I've wanted to battle Mr. E for a long time. I don't even know why. I just like his style. I just always thought if I could punchline with Mr. E, like, there's not many battle rappers you can actually just punchline with. And he was one of them. Like, I thought, I'll have a good. To be honest, the material I had I was so happy with the material, but it was just bad timing. It was Raptor's birthday the night before. Ended up getting in at 6:15 in the morning with Rose and Raptor. Had to check out the hotel at 9. Right. And I was sat in the train station for 3 hours, still drunk, hungover, thinking of ways I can pull out of a battle in London. But I said, basically, I rang Rowan and Bagnall, and I was like, look, I'm not going to get 3 rounds out here. I can't even stand up straight. But obviously, I'm not going to. It was Mr. E's return. I'm not going to let him down. I thought, best if I can get 2 rounds out, I'll be happy. But it just went to shit. Yeah. I can't watch it back. It was just, it was just one of them ones. Voted for Mr. E, to be honest. I think it would have been a decent battle.
Yeah, it's a shame, because you are pretty wasted, clearly. So it's just, but regardless, I mean, you play it for laughs, so. Mate, if anyone watches that battle, watch the first round. It's like 30 seconds in, I grabbed my stomach like I'm in pain. Yeah, it's because I was nearly vomiting. Like, I remember watching it back. I've only watched it back once, and I thought, oh my god, was that on camera? But yeah, it was just a bad day at the office. That. Fair enough. And I mean, we've got to talk about our battle, of course.
Why did you wear a red jumper for the battle? Is that, is it some sort of...
for the code red.
Okay. Let's have a look around. Oh, hi. Why are you wearing a Volcom jumper? Is there any sort of specific reason for that? No, okay. Tunkwe, you've prepped this for 7 months, and why have you choked 2 rounds? Tell us.
I guess, I think it started maybe 6 months before or something. I can't quite remember the genesis of it. I think I had taken a comment you had written or something about being interviewed by me at the pre-party event, and then it had just gone from there.
Was that what it's from? What was the pre-party event?
So
was that one about Danny Jack?
Yeah, I think you would put a comment like, "Oh, I can't wait for this guy to interview me at this event," and I wasn't going to be there. So yeah. Nah,
you know what it was? Yeah, I think it came from. I think that was part of it. I think I listened to one of your podcasts. It might have been Mixy, Right. I remember you saying something, and I was like, "Wow, why does he think that?" And I get emotional at times. I think I remember writing a tweet like, "Oh, what did I say? I think I said you sit on the fence too much or something." Did I?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and then there was the smoke break comment as well with
Yeah.
Which,
I think that's what it's sparked, actually.
Yeah. I think that one became part of it as well, and then it just became this giant thing, really. And I mean, it went through, and I mean, we discussed the battle in the past, really, but I'm glad it happened altogether.
Yeah, mate, it was Shox's fault as well. He made me bet.
Yeah.
But mate, this is the weird thing. I enjoy doing the Mr. E's, the Cojays. They're the type of battles I do what I do, but I like doing fun battles. Like the feeling I got with battling yourself. I knew I didn't have, not even in a disrespectful way, I didn't have to take it as serious as I would with Manchester versus London. I knew this battle was going to be entertaining for fans. There was no real pressure on it, and it was let's just have fun with it. That's why I basically did what I did. It was just a fun battle to do. So, mate, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm saying this to Rapture on the way down to London. I was like, I can't lose this battle,
Yeah.
I was semi-scared of losing. I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't know what he was gonna say.
Yeah, I sort of, I don't know. Obviously, I did choke. Unfortunately, the occasion definitely got to my head, but I'm just happy it happened and we could put a lid on it, basically, and move beyond it. But no, shout out to you as always, and Code Red for putting it on as well. And you're sort of staff with Code Red, right, as well?
Yeah, so I just kind of help out with the event. So obviously, Danny's my boy anyway. me and Shotty were talking about doing Premier Battles for a bit, and it just, because obviously Shotty signed to Sony and that, so nothing was kind of coming to fruition. Danny, basically, Shocks hit me up about working for Charts Out first, and I'd said to Shocks, like, yeah, I'm down for any help you want in Manchester sort of thing. I don't know what I'm going to do with Battle Rap from now on, because I've just left Don't Flop. I didn't know if I was going to stay involved. And I just never heard back from Shocks or Ambi, like nothing ever developed off that. And then I got talking to Danny Jack one night when I seen him and told him I was thinking of doing Premier Battles, and he was like, fuck it, come and work for Code Red. There's a job there if you want it. So I was like, yeah, go on then. Just kind of help him out with events. And that's what I was doing with Don't Flop, so I'll put my 2 pence in a conversation if it needed. But yeah, it's fun. Them guys are good. They know what they're doing. I can't wait. The next event they've got coming out, it's going to be sick.
Is that the Rapping It Jack one?
Yeah, they've got some fucking sick ideas. It's just a shame whatever happened knocked it back for a little bit.
Yeah.
But they'll do well. They've got some big ideas going.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you know, the modern landscape then of Battle Rap was sort of post Don't Flop now with the Code Reds, Chalked Outs, and Premier Battles. Like, you know, this is just the first year now, really, afterwards. But it's been, you know, completely different, hasn't it, as a fan and observer?
Yeah, so many options now, isn't there? Like, it was kind of seen as a bad thing if you was, say you was on Don't Flop. No Don't Flop battlers were like, well, not a lot of them were like, oh, I'm going to go battle for King of the Ronalds, or you kind of felt like you can't do that. Whereas now I think everyone's more open to just going and experiencing different crowds. And because I'm not going to lie, I felt like at times, like, I spoke to Mickey and Bowski in the past, and I was like, I'm only battling for Don't Flop. And it was a pretty ignorant thing for me to do at the time, but that's kind of like the mentality a lot of Don't Flop battlers had. Like, if it's not Don't Flop, it don't really matter.
Yep.
But yeah, it's been a blessing in some ways what's happened to Don't Flop, but it's also a massive shame as well. Like, but I can't lie. I love working for Don't Flop. You know, I've no issues with any of them at all. Even Rowan, like, we had our disagreement, but our disagreement's always been business, never personal.
Yeah, I mean, how did that happen? You know, the whole disintegration of Don't Flop. Like, you know, did you just you left before it happened, right?
Yeah, kind of. So what happened was I did Revival, which one was Newcastle Revival 8, what it Caustic Definition.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a disagreement at that event. Basically, Rowan was in Canada, I think, or wherever he was, New York or something. And obviously, I'm running everything for the event in my house in England. So I'm talking to Definition and Caustic, trying to get everything confirmed. And it comes down to, like, I'm chatting to Rowan and saying, I need this booking and this booking, like flights and accommodation, travel and stuff. Because I didn't have access to the accounts. Like, that's the only thing that Don't Flop I didn't have access to.
Sure.
And then he's like, yeah, it's going to get sorted today, and then it didn't get sorted. And I had Caustic on my case going, right, if it's not done today, I'm not coming to do the battle. But obviously, I've sold like 200 tickets. I can't, for me, my reputation is everything in events. Like, I don't want to put on an event that's going to flop. So obviously, I'm chasing at one angle, and I've got Caustic and Definition going mental in my inbox. And it just never got done. Like, the whole process just never got done.
Yeah.
And I understand Rowan was on holiday, which, fair play. But it could have been a case of like, right, here's the account details, log in, sort it, done. Or I've got someone else to do it. But it never got done, but it got to a point where I'm arguing with Caustic and Definition now. And that's not like what I'm doing this for. There was a few other little side things that was bubbling anyway, but they were all like real minor things. But then, after that event, I kind of said like I said, I'm cool with Rowan. Like, Rowan's never done nothing to me personally. But I just kind of said to him, look, after this Don't Flop event, I think I'm done. But I'd already agreed to the South Africa event with Revival 9. So I was like, right, after this, I'm just going to walk away. I had no idea what was going on with Kruger and Bagnall and everyone else. But I ended up like sorting it with Rowan a couple of weeks later. Like, we had a chat, and I was already planning Revival 10. We was going to do a big double weekend or like a huge Manchester event. So that was already in planning. And yeah, and everything just came out, and then I don't even know what the catalyst was with everyone else, really.
Yeah.
I know Kruger's was the whole money situation, which I don't agree with. I'd never do that to Shotty. Shotty never do that to me, but obviously that's their issue. I don't know how it's led to where it's got to or how that came about. To be honest, I'm cool with them both. I don't really care. But yeah, it's just a sad state of affairs, mate. Like, once everyone had left, no matter what would have happened for me, it wouldn't have been the same don't flop, so I probably wouldn't have stayed anyway. And I was, like I said, I was coming to the point where I didn't care about battle rap enough to be dealing with all the dramas and bullshit of it all. So yeah, I was done. I was literally done with battle rap from that point until Code Red shouted at me, and I was like, I'll do it as a part-time thing. Like, I'll give you advice on events and ideas and how you can go forward. But yeah, then obviously one thing's good. You can never get out of this shit, Tom. Pulls you in.
Yeah. I can tell, man. And it's like, all these actors have become great directors because they've made all these movies with people who know what they're doing. Like, do you feel the same way? Do you feel like you've been around battling for so long that you just know it now?
Yeah, I know full well I can. I think I understand, because I understood business anyway. Like, I've kind of brought that into the experience I've had with battling, which is where, like, like I said before, I'm proper heavy on branding, like strength of, like, I think everything has to have an identity. Like, did you see 100 Bullets post the other day about King of the Dot?
Yes, yeah.
So this is a conversation me and Shotty have had for 6 months, not about King of the Dot, about Premier Battles. Like, branding and stuff is a big thing for me, but like running events and that's just second nature now, right? If you told me there's an event on Saturday, well, a venue on Saturday, you need a lineup. I could probably put you a lineup in like 45 minutes. Like, it's weird because I've been doing it for that long. I kind of know who's available, who'll be able to make what, who will definitely turn up.
Yeah.
It just becomes second nature, like anything. But yeah, it's kind of good now. I've got my own company doing it because I can be a bit more freer than what I was with Don't Flop, even though I was quite flexible. But it's interesting. It's an interesting year. It has been so far, anyway.
Yeah. And, before we went on air, I opened this up to some questions online. I've also got some questions in the live stream as well. If you are listening live, put some questions down as well for BRIGGZY. First one comes from Adam Dean's Terminal. He wants, first of all, to know how you feel about the upcoming Rap is Full versus Premier Battles event.
I'm excited for that. I've never battled in Ireland. This just fits perfect, like I said before, branding.
The international friendly. It's such a great idea, like, for the whole thing.
It just works with, like, this is what I was kind of leading on from before, like personality and identity. Like, Premier Battles for me has an identity. You know what you're getting. It's just going to be team-based battles, winners. It's competition. It's friendly competition. And this is, I was talking to Rory and I was like, let's just do something, because it was weird how it came about. I think it was like me and Shotty and Tox Flawless and the lads were just chatting about something. And it was like, why don't we just go to Ireland and do an event? So I was chatting to Rory at the same time anyway, and I was like, have you got any venues booked in July? And he's like, yeah, we're going to start planning it soon. We've got this date. And I was like, let's just do this then. And it's just sick how it came about. I mean, we're taking a strong team over. There was a lot of battlers in Premier Battles who couldn't make the date. People like, Bobby Rex and stuff they just couldn't commit to that date. But the 5 that we are taking, I think, are very, very strong. I mean, O'Shea, Matto, Raptor, Rivers, and Dialect. Arguably, like, what, 5? Some of the 5 best names in the UK.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
It's gonna be. I'm confident we'll take the win. I think, I'm excited to go Dublin and do it there. Because it's going to be like Manchester versus London. Like, they're going to get crowd reaction. That's how that's going to work. Like, it's not like Dublin versus Manchester. It's country versus country, and the history between England and Ireland anyway. I'm expecting it to be rowdy. Yeah,
are there any other countries you plan to have Premier Battles events in?
Yeah, we're talking to scrambles at the minute. We're going to try and do South Africa, England. Me and Shotty were talking the other day about potentially doing Scotland versus England. Get sold to manage a team in Scotland. Where else are we looking at? We're chatting to Dano, who runs Rap is Full as well, but he lives in Australia, works with Real Talk. So I'd love to do something over there. There's a couple, to be honest. I want to chat to Johnny J about Germany, England again. There's no limits to it, to be honest, mate. We can literally go any country in the world and do whatever we want.
And who's your personal pick for the Academy?
Oh, you know what? There was a couple really good performances. Before the Academy started, I had all my money on Darpo. He's just the most experienced. He understands battling. But you know what? There's a kid called Major Concerns who was first ever time battling. He battled Bombshell, and his pen was the best of the day. Like, he was very polished. Considering it was his first battle, he was flipping. He started every round with a flip, and he was just neat. Like, he stumbled the first like 2 lines of his battle, but I think that was just nerves because it was his first time. But the way he came back, and he just controlled the room. I don't think I've seen a tryout do that for a long time. So yeah, I've got him. D-Mac, another one.
Oh yeah, D-Mac's sick.
Yeah, he was very good. Reminds me of Tox.
Right, yeah.
The way he just like walks around and shoulder barges his opponents and all that. There's a couple of Blitz. That was the best Blitz I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Judge T was another good one as well. To be fair, mate, everyone turned up. I think it was like 2 chokes all day. In fucking hell, there's like 15 battles or something.
Yeah, it seemed to be a lot of battles, so it was like seemed to be busy as well. A lot of people quite passionate for it.
Yeah, it felt like an old school Don't Flop event, like a really old school. Everyone was getting just involved, showing love to all the battlers. It was just a really good day.
So another question comes from James. He says, where do you plan and see Premier Battles in 5 and 10 years' time?
To be honest, the way we're going at the minute, mate, our 5-year plan was open up the 2nd division, do an international game, and settle the Toronto division. Pretty much all that's done now. So I don't really know. Like, the goals we've had for 12 months, we've smashed in 2 events.
Right.
Like we had a criteria where we wanted to hit a certain amount of network subscribers. We smashed that. We pretty much tripled that. I don't really know, to be honest. It's like we can take this wherever we want to go. We don't just want it to be a battle rap league company sort of thing. Like, because we got the network now, we want it to be a real content based project. I mean, Unilad are doing a documentary on it for the 3rd event.
Yeah, that's crazy.
A lot of people think that's because I work at Unilad, but it actually isn't. Like, the CEO of Unilad came to match day 1 and I didn't even know.
Right.
He just, like, because I had Unilad, obviously I work at Unilad anyway, but they had a guest list of like 10 people. So the CEO came down, and then a couple of days later, one of the managers pulled me aside and was like, "We should cover that." So yeah, the documentary on that, they're going to be following a few battlers, getting their stories, and just covering the event. Off the back of that, I've got a few things coming. We'll shoot a proper full-on commercial in a couple of weeks with Gio Goy as well. We just want to do a lot with this, mate, to be honest. The idea is within 5 years, this could be a full-time job for battle rappers. So people will be getting paid X amount. It's going to take a while. It's not going to work overnight.
Yep.
But there's no reason why this can't become a sport in itself, and that's where we want to take it, because it should have been like this for years. You know, you got people like Immaculate and stuff in Canada and America charging $5 or $6 grand a battle. Like, why are we not doing that over there? Yeah. Like, obviously, them countries are bigger than ours, but it's doable. We've just got to market it right. Battlers have got to get back involved with promoting, because not a lot of battlers share the battles anymore. We've just got to all band together and do this. Like, there's no reason why we can't. I'm excited, man. I'm really excited.
That's crazy. So you see, like, with the you go on the network and you have access to 10 years of content, like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the idea is we'll have the Premier Battles League, the Division 2. We ideally want 3 divisions within the next 3 years. Then we've got the North American League, which we'll hopefully launching next year. We're in talks now. Everything's just being finalised. But obviously we want to do stuff like the World Cup with loads of different teams around the world battling. Just so much we can do, mate. Like, we've got 4 or 5 new series launching. All the money we're making at the minute from the network is being pumped back into the network. So it's just going to be very, very series based. We'll start doing documentaries with the battle rappers and just have fun with it, mate. Like, it's such a unique subculture.
Yeah. Verse Tracker on the live chat asks, any plans for Premier Battles Network to have view count or analytics of some sort?
We've got it in a minute. Obviously, only we can see it as staff. We don't know. Because, to be honest, I don't want it. I think the thing with views on YouTube, one of the reasons we went to the network is just to get competition back. Like, a lot of battling, especially working with Don't Flop, you realise, like, people are turning down great battles because someone gets 10,000 views less than they do.
Mm.
And we don't want to build that anymore. Like, it's got to be about wins. Like, for example, look at Raptor. Raptor's 0-2 now against, but bear in mind he's battled Quill and O'Shea.
Right.
But Chris Lees has battled Locksmith and P Soldier, and he's 2-0 up. Now he's in frame for the All-Star game. Raptor isn't in a minute unless he picks it up and wins another 3 battles. So we want to build it where it's based off wins competition rather than I get X amount of views because I've got a little bit of a bigger fan base than you have. So I don't really know. YouTube's, I don't know where we're going to go with view counts and stuff because I kind of like the fact we can only see that.
Yeah, you don't have them on Netflix, do you? You don't need them.
Yeah,
so.
You don't know how many times a documentary's been watched, do you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
maybe in the future, but for now, no plans for it at all.
Yeah, some people are asking for a Bad Bars type show on there.
Yeah, so what we've talked about. I don't really want to step on Bagnall's toes.
Yeah.
I'd love. We should talk about this the other day with Shotty. I'd love to be able to get a certain sort of budget for next season to potentially buy that off them, so they do it and we just let them create it, or we work some sort of deal out where that goes onto the network. We've got a new series coming out called Little Billy, so we've got a little 10-year-old actor that's going to be interviewing battle rappers.
Right.
So dialects. We done dialects episode the other day. Basically, thinking the cheekiest little kid you'll ever meet in your life, asking battlers really difficult questions. Okay. So, like, we've got him sat with dialects, and one of the first questions is like, "Why was you so shit against Gemini?" Like, he's just asking really.
Little Billy, man. Okay,
Little
cool.
Billy, yeah. We had him Little Bobby at first, but obviously we forgot about Bobby Rex.
Jamie Hall asking, "What's your prediction for Sensor versus Shocks?"
It's a good battle, that. To be honest, I'm interested to see Sensor back, but at the same time, I was interested to see Tenchu back, and that didn't live up to the expectation.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I think if anyone's style can fit into now, would be Sensor, because he was always very aggressive, punchline heavy. I'm just interested to see what Sensor will do, because battle rap's changed so much since he last battled. Like, he said some really bad shit, Sensor, like really offensive stuff.
He has,
I don't feel like that's a part of battling anymore. Even like, shit like homophobia and stuff. A lot of battlers don't touch on anymore. Like, it's become more about the creative side of it. I think Sensor's got it in his locker. Shocks is obviously Shocks. Shocks is a great battle rapper. I think it'll be a good one. I'm interested in what Sensor does. More than I think that's the best battle on the card, to be honest.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that, definitely. What is your opinion on another big battle coming up, Mook versus Verb?
Weird one. I'm a fan of Averb, but I don't know if I'd bother watching Averb versus Murder Mook. To be honest, I don't watch a lot of American battles anymore, just because a lot of them they all say the same shit.
Yeah.
Mook's great, but I think he's very, very overrated. Murder Mook's just a hype train now. I used to love Murder Mook back in the day when he had the 6ix9ine hoodie on and that battle in Serious Jones and Smack. But yeah, I don't think I've watched. Who did he battle last, Murder Mook?
God, was it Lux, the rematch, I think?
Yeah, I don't think I watched it.
I think so, yeah.
I've not watched the Murder Mook battle for years.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, he's not my favourite, but it is a big deal for a lot of people, so I've got to respect that. It's a big deal for the culture. But
yeah, of course.
What would the Nathan Jones asking? What was the lineup for Revival 10? Were there any battles that you were planning?
Yeah, there was. Off the top of my head, I have no idea though. I know he was looking at Soul and Gemini. Respect Me and Soul as well. We was looking at.
Oh my god. Yeah.
There was quite a few. I was trying to do Bobby Rex versus Caustic was on my paper. I think Chalked Out tried to do that recently as well. Like, that's a battle that should happen at some point.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, I can't think of the top of my head. I was trying to get Shotty back, but that just wasn't happening. I was, because I still speak to Disaster quite a lot. So we was going to try. I was going to really try and do Raptor versus Disaster. But obviously that was, because it was Don't Flop, it was proving pretty impossible.
Yeah.
But I reckon if I would have pushed him a little bit harder, we probably would have got that. If I would have dealt with him rather than row him. Because I don't think they ever going to get on again. But it's a shame, man. We had some big plans. I remember talking to Rowan, but pretty in depth about Revival 10. But nothing was actually ever locked in and confirmed because we were still on Revival 8 at the time.
Would you be surprised if Rome threw an event this year?
I don't know. He's probably want to know half the card.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he's thinking. You know what? I'm not even going to do it. I was going to say the dates then, but it's not. Yeah, he's got an event coming up.
Okay.
I know. Well, some Premier Battles battlers are on there already.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the things with the battle industry, mate. You know every card.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But yeah, good luck to him, man. Like, you know, do what you're doing, innit? Like, my focus is Premier Battles now, nothing else.
We're not going to see in a Premier Battles team, or
no, I won't.
That'd be a crazy player to have, though.
You know, mate, you know what? Things can change, can't they? But in a minute, I probably would have said no. Someone said this to me the other day. Someone was like, if Rowan turned up to Premier Battles, what would you do? Like, nothing. Like, he's entitled to come to any event he wants to. Like, just, you know.
He was at King of the Dot yesterday.
I know, yeah. I've seen a few people losing their shit over that.
Yeah.
This was a bit random, innit?
Yeah, it is a bit. It's, you know, not surprising, but.
In Canada.
Yeah, exactly. Verse Tracker also asking, USA or Canada teams with Premier Battles, is that happening?
Yeah, so Canada teams. So we're trying to launch the Canadian League. So basically, we're doing this. I shouldn't really be saying this, but we're going to be doing an event in Canada this year, I think. We're like 80% confirmed now, but that'll be like, it's not going to be England versus Canada. It's going to be more of England versus probably the world, I'd probably say.
Sure.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing like a big exhibition event sort of thing with a major sponsor in Toronto, and hopefully that's going to lead to the league launching next year. The Toronto League is not really our main priority. The main priority is launching the second division in England next year. But there's plans. Yeah, there's a lot of plans for the Canadian League, and then I spoke to a couple. I seen Dirtbag Dan on the Dirtbag Dan show saying he'd like a team. I think he was on his team now. I think he said it would be him, Fredo, Caustic, Reverse Live, I think it was.
Jesus.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to do something with them. I'm always up for it. Avocado said he wanted to do some work with us as well, so I'm sure we can make something happen, whether it's a England versus America game or what. There's options.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, this would be a dream thing. Like in the US, each league would have their own team. So you have like a URL team, a King of the Dot team, etc. But obviously, the travel would be impossible. But I'd love to see something like that in the future. But seeing the whole idea exported out is crazy as well, definitely. And go support the network. We should say, as always, there's so much stuff on there. So I guess we'll close up a few quick fire questions.
Of course, by the way.
Your favourite Don't Flop battle?
Ooh, Els versus Zayn Azrai.
Oh man.
What a battle.
Yeah. Divisive battle, but yeah, pretty classic.
Yeah, it was a belter.
Yeah. King of the Dot.
Oh, favourite King of the Dot battle. You know what I was a big fan of? I know it sounds biased, but Shotty versus Fingers.
Oh yeah, sick battle.
That was a great battle. Pat Stay versus Holohan though, best battle.
Yeah. URL.
Ooh. Hitman Hollow versus Averb.
Yeah. So
off the top of my head.
So yeah. Great choice. Final two questions. Your favourite film?
Oh. Favourite film? Man on Fire.
Man on Fire. Yeah, sick movie. Yeah.
Great film.
Yeah, very very moving.
You don't cry, Denzel. You got no heart.
Denzel revenge films. Yeah, the fucking best. Okay, final question. Your favourite musical artist or band? No way hip hop related.
Oh, No Way Hip Hop either. Oasis.
Oasis, yeah, of course.
Fuck you know. Don't like Oasis from Manchester. You get pitchforked.
So, I guess going forward, all the work you're doing are Premier Battles, right? That's what you're most focused on, battle-wise.
Yeah, everything, yeah. Premier Battles is literally everything in my life at a minute. Fucking non-stop with it at a minute.
How many match days are there going to be? Is it 5 or...?
Yeah, we've got 5. The England versus Ireland game. Hopefully the England versus South African game in September, hopefully. And the All-Star game in December. We've got a fucking major headline locked in for that.
Okay.
Incredible as well. I was so tempted to tell you I'm not.
Well, I want to say again, subscribe to the network. But how can people get at you, Briggs? Like, follow you social media wise?
Everything's Bison Briggs. So Twitter at Bison Briggs, Instagram Bison Briggs, Facebook is Lewis Bison Briggs.
All right. Well, follow the show at BattleRapResume. Get in touch with me, battleresume@gmail.com. We've got the Patreon. Leave a review on iTunes, but most importantly, subscribe to the Premier Battles Network. As we said before, you can hear my commentary on all the matches as well. Shout out to the Premier Battles guys for getting me involved with that. But aside from that, there's so much fucking content on there. It's so cool what you guys are doing. Like, I'm not just saying this because you're on the show. Like, it's quite pioneering this network thing, right?
Cheers, man. We're trying. We knew it wasn't going to be taken by everyone. But yeah, we're happy. We're very happy with how it's going. It's gone in the right projection anyway. So interested to see what we can do with it.
Definitely. But BRIGGZY, thanks again, man.
Cheers, man. Nice one for having us.